back to working with ability architecture. This is roughly what we're building here. Last video we set up the target condition container and target condition list. We added a few of these target options, conditions. I'm going to work on, I want to be working on this sort of stuff next, but I think I've got to test the target condition sort of container and make sure that a target is valid or invalid. So in order to test that, I'm going to go to select action battle state and insert another old style of input. I'll just make this 1. So when I press the 1 key, we got to get the acting unit. So HP set to 0. So if I press 1, it should effectively kill the unit. And this is so I can test the target condition is alive or is dead. So there we go. Kill them, that works. Target conditions, let's see. So target condition we've got is target valid. Target condition container, we're probably going to want something on this as well. Public bool is target valid, and then we'll just grab all of the target conditions and then run them through one by one. So here's a private target condition, I guess array, target condition array, get return, get components. I think they're all going to be on the same object, so we can just do get components target condition. In here there'll be a battle unit. I think this is just target, but we may need the user in there as well. Yeah, I think we do need the user if we're doing is foe or is ally. So again, this is the ability user and this is the target, the current target. Just check the target array. I probably want to be catching this target condition. So I'll just catch it like that or cache it, so we make sure we're not doing any unnecessary processing. And then we'll just do if target condition array I guess we can make it a bit more obvious what we're doing. Target condition equals that. If the target condition dot is target valid, pass in the user and the target. But what we're doing, we don't really want to check if it is valid. We want to check if it's not valid. So we'll flip it like that. If the target's not valid, return false. And then once we've checked all of them and they all pass, we'll return true. The target is valid. So this is the target condition container, which will be on the ability. Yep, it just grabs a list of target condition containers, runs them through, and if any of the condition containers completely match one of the targets, then we will run all of the effects on the ability or on the target condition container. We'll run all the effects on that target. Okay, just like this. So I think that's good for target condition container. I think that's good for the target condition. Right, I'll work on the effect container now. Okay, I'll create a folder for effects. Maybe this wording is maybe a bit too vague, but it's the way I've named all the rest, so I'll just go with it for now. Effect. There's going to be an effect container. And this should probably operate in a similar way as the target condition container. So it holds this, an array, which is just a property that will return the components. And so this is going to do the same thing, but it's going to be effect. It'll be effect array. Something like that. Now, you know what? I'll just keep that commented out for now because I should probably work on hit rating before that, since effects can become quite all over the place. Some will deal damage, some will heal, some will inflict statuses, some will do random things, who knows. Um, yeah, hit chance. So I'll call it hit rate. And then in a similar fashion to most of the other ability code we've done, hit rate will be abstract. Nothing should have hit rate directly attached to it. It will have some kind of calculate success, or maybe just a calculate. Do we just want a boolean to say was it successful, or do we need more? In a previous game that I was coding up, I had it so it rolls a dice, and if the dice roll was a certain high number, you would automatically crit. If it was a certain low number, you would automatically miss. If it was somewhere in the middle, you maybe got a regular hit or a grazing hit or something like that. But for now, I think I will just go with calculate, and maybe just go with that for now. Battle unit user, will definitely need the user and the target for this, because we might want a user's personal hit rating. Maybe there's some modifiers this user has to gain or lower the hit chance, and then similarly for a target. If the user's blind, then they won't hit as often. If the target's blind, maybe they get hit more often. So I guess this should be abstract and we'll have nothing in the middle. You can, if you wanted, you could remove abstract, and make hit rate your guaranteed chance or a guarantee fail if you really want, and then you can actually make this virtual, and then everything else just overrides it rather than having to implement it. But this is the way I want to do it. Um, so guaranteed is a bit of a long word, so it makes it look a bit gross, I think, but you can use other words, maybe certain hit chance, but I think guaranteed kind of spells out what it does a bit better. And it builds on hit chance, hit rate, it's hit rate, silly bugger, guaranteed hit rate. So we have to implement the abstract class, calculate. So if it's guaranteed, you just return true because it has to hit. It's guaranteed. You know, I've never thought of having a guaranteed fail. I wonder if there's ever a reason why you'd want a guarantee fail. Maybe one of the containers guarantees that you miss. Hmm. I guess that's not really up to the hit rating. That would be if there's a ghost or something and you try and attack it with a melee attack. Somewhere in the calculation, the ghost would have to say, if I'm being attacked by a melee attack or some kind of steal or whatever, then increase my evasion by like 300% or something ridiculous. Uh, so maybe we need to add some more stats now. Where is that again? Entities. Okay, stat. Um, maybe there's a hit chance that just adds to your chance of hitting, and maybe an evasion which just minuses from your chance. But then maybe hit is mostly from the weapon, so this is a rare bonus or something. Now let's just go with this. So back in the hit rating, I also just remembered you can have a set percentage. Hit rate. So this is probably things, if you just want to say, oh, there's a 40% chance you can hit, then that probably covers it. But then I'm thinking for states or status effects, if you wanted to apply poison, maybe that's a 40% chance, so you would just make a set percent hit rate. But then again, you can come in here and edit this so maybe the hit chance is reduced anyway because you have poison protection or something. So a lot of this will need revised at some point. Serialize field, private int, percentage, and then in calculate you can do roll equals random dot range 0 to 100. Plus 1. Is that good enough? You may need to know the ability as well, or I'm just trying to think up how I would cater for someone that's sort of strong against a certain type of attack in order to reduce the roll chance. Maybe I just need to add a hit rate, a method in here that is just some way of passing in the user, the target, and the ability used, or whatever is happening. Pass something in, and then have a way of altering the hit rate because of that. Yeah, this is probably fine for now. Alright, let's try. I'll do melee hit rate. Which is probably just something like 100 plus the user dot stats dot get hit, and then minus target dot stats dot get evasion. So yeah, something like that might be alright. And then you just roll the same. Wrong one. The engine, and then return hit rate is less than or equal to. Yeah, I think that's maybe what I missed out on this one. So your hit chance is 100 plus your hit stat minus the target's evasion. And yeah, this kind of leaves it open if you want to add different stats that govern how the combat works. If you have some kind of actual melee combat stat or even if you want to use strength or something, you can add that to this instead of like just a hit stat. And maybe it's their defense that you roll against to see if it hits. There could be all kinds of things you add. Um, and then I guess you could add magic evasion. It could be parry and then dodge, and then you can parry melee, but you can dodge something like that. I kind of like the idea of parry and dodge being more important. So maybe something like that. So if you want to be ultra tanky, you can also just build up your strength and then use parry to block and defend and shit. But if you're speedy, you can use that for all kinds of different defenses. But for now, we'll just do a magic evasion. So it's gonna just be this. Magic hit rate is gonna be the user stats get hit, and it'll be and you could maybe turn this into their intellect or intelligence gets added to the hit rate, and then maybe it's their willpower or spirit or something that helps defend against it. Okay, we've got a couple of different hit rates in, so I will stick that onto the effect container. Just get return, get component, hit rate, just the same as we have with everything else. Remember to actually add one. So ally, so the reason I would have separate containers is if you want to have some kind of chance of damaging a unit, and then you also want a separate chance to maybe cause another piece of damage, like a different type of damage or something, then both of these containers will have their own hit rates, which mean they'll both run. If that one misses, doesn't matter to this one, this will also just try and hit as well. If you want all the effects to happen together, then it will be on one container. And I also think maybe having some kind of secondary effect on one container might be a way of handling only run these effects if uh, the first attack hits. So if you want an attack where you deal damage, but it also has a chance to blind them, and you don't care if it hits, they also still have a chance to be blinded, then you would have separate containers. But if you want the blind to only happen if you hit, then I would say have an effect container and then have a variable that is secondary effect on that effect container. So there's the effect container. Let's add a hit rate. This is going to be magic hit rate. This only happens if you're an ally. So this is purely for testing. Obviously, it doesn't make sense that you want to be getting special treatment for being an ally. I would just have fire with one condition, being alive. So effect container, magic hit rate. And we'll just get rid of that one. Um, Effects. Is it that time? Okay, I'll just add some stats to my characters and then call the video there. Hit rating, just nothing. Evasion, say 10. Hit rating 0. Evasion 50. Also forgot the magic evasion. I'll just do the same thing for all of them. Magic evasion 50. Hit 0. Evasion nothing. Magic evasion nothing. Hit 0. Evasion 0 and magic evasion. Maybe go 50 for that one. Okay, maybe that's the end of this one. Well, no, I guess I wanted to test the validity, if someone was a target or not. So when I click select target, pay the cost, move position. Alright, so here we should grab a list of battle units, or I guess it's v3 int, target positions equals pathfinding dot get targetable positions. I guess we've already done this. We clear after, so that's good. We still have access to the targetable positions. For each of the targetable positions, we will get a battle unit. We need to check if there is a battle unit at the position. If grid system, does grid object exist at this position? But we'll reverse that. If an object doesn't exist at that position, we'll return. Then we'll grab a grid object at that position. Get grid object at that position. If the grid object is empty, we'll return, but if it's not, we will need to grab the contents. If how do we do this? For each grid object content list item, if grid object content list J get component value. Now this is very rough code. I don't think you would want any of this outside the grid object. So the grid object needs to have some way of returning any battle unit on its position. So maybe let's just do that. So we can add content and we can remove content, but what I want to do is I don't see why we would ever have multiple battle units in the same position. We can maybe have traps or maybe objects and things, but I would imagine there's only one battle unit at each point. So public battle unit, but we'll add the little squiggle, the question mark, because this may return null. Although no, we don't need it because battle unit can return null already. So I'm being silly again. Public bool has battle unit. Contains battle unit, maybe something like that. So in here, we're going to have to look at the content list. Get battle unit, that's what we're going to do. Get battle unit. And then we'll loop through the content list. Content equals content list. If content dot get component battle unit does not equal null, return it. So yeah, we want to cache this since we'll use it multiple times. Battle unit equals that, and then we say if battle unit doesn't equal null, return battle unit. So spelling this out in this way ensures that we will actually loop through all of the things before returning. Because you could do something like return battle unit just immediately, but then you won't actually look through all of the content, so you need to spell it out. So now I can just do get battle unit in this here instead of all this mess. Equals grid object dot get battle unit, and then all we need to do is check if it's null or not. If battle unit equals null, we will continue. But if it's not null, then we can finally do some checks. Dot do, 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 do. So we have a list of containers now, and we need to loop through all of them. Target condition container, target condition array equals that. And then we'll just do for each of these target condition array dot length. If target condition dot container is target valid, return a message. So this again, this is me just testing. A lot of this code shouldn't be in here. It's just for testing purposes. Is the target valid? Then we pass in the battle unit, and then we also need to pass in the user. So that'll be battle turn acting unit. So the user of the ability, the target we're looking at. If it is valid, then yeah, we return. Oh, I guess we don't return. We will debug.log, log out a message that says battle unit.display name is a valid target. So let's see what this is actually saying. So fire, we don't have any other effect container in here, but we do have conditions, so that's fine. So if it's marked as a foe, this one will trigger. Is a valid target of target condition container dot name. I believe that will give us ally or foe. Let's just see what happens. I probably need to tidy up a bit before I get the results I want, but let's see. Swap fire back in. So if I click here, the only target should be, who is that? That's the lady, Amy, I think. So if I click here, Pete is a valid target. Oh no, crap, this is who I'm on at the moment. But okay, Pete is a valid target because he is he is alive and he is an ally. Right, so let's try again. Pete, Pete, Pete. Okay, so it's just a coding error. So we should be getting a different grid object based on the targetable position. Pete, Pete, very weird. Battle unit. Is target valid? We'll need to spit out the targetable position. Maybe spit out the name if they're not null. So let's see. We should get 4 positions because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. So if I click here, targetable position. It only did 1. Is that because it's validating when I click? "301, 201, Pete, 301. So all of them are called Pete. Is that my fault for updating a unit somewhere? No, display name is different. All of the units are different, okay. So why are all of them Pete? Am I filling this with some nonsense somewhere? Area positions. It's not targetable, it's area. Yep, it's the area positions. And also, why we're returning? We should be continuing, not returning. Silly bugger. That's why, so the error there was I was using target positions, which was every point in that I could possibly target. And because it was hitting Pete first, it was trying to validate, and then it would move to the next one, I think, and then it would return. So it would just break out, which obviously isn't right. So area position, area positions. Is that all of the position nonsense? Okay, let's see. So area position is the actual area the ability can target. So that's why I was getting some funkiness. Boom. Amy. Amy is a valid target of ally condition. So what if I kill her now? No, Amy. Now she's not alive, so this shouldn't run. Oh, what happened? So now it doesn't say she's a valid target. Very nice. But if I use it on this person, Lorik is a valid target. And this will be P is a valid target. But if I do it again on the dead one, boom, nothing. It says the name, but it doesn't say it's a valid target. So it looks like the target conditions are working, at least at the moment, until I find something that's wrong with them. And that paves the way to having a pretty flexible system where you can have different containers based on who you're targeting. So you can have heal abilities that only affect your allies if you want, or you can have heal effects that heal living people but then damages the undead. You can set up a type type target condition, and then you can give people types. So this will just be normal type, and the undead can be given an undead type or something like that. Or yeah, it's all kinds of things we can add now. So what's next? Probably the effect list. So we'll finally start adding effects and dealing damage and things. But then once I do that, I really need to get working on the action list or the action queue, because a lot of this code will need refactored into the action queue. Or so I think anyway. So I'll also need to start working on getting more of a game loop as well. So when you use up your action and your movement, it will either just not allow you to do anything unless you click end turn, or maybe it'll just automatically end your turn, something like that. And also need to work on some enemies at some point. So I'll just jot down this so I remember. Okay, thanks for watching.